Today on Operation Get Lost, part 2 of the drawer slide build. Stay tuned. All right, welcome back to the channel, guys. Today, like I mentioned, this is part 2 of the drawer slide series. Hoping that it's going to be the last part of the drawer slide series. We will find out. Anyways, I have come up with a better solution for the actual slides and mounting system that's going to be mounted to the deck plate inside the vehicle. The other one that you saw in the last episode just wasn't working out for what I was actually imagining or hoping for. So what I came up with is this right here. This is some 3-inch, 1/4-inch angle iron. So with this, I'm going to get the rigidity that I need. The weight is still down because I cut it down to the actual size I need, but I'm going to get the rigidity so this can get bolted directly to the deck plate inside the vehicle, and it shouldn't have any flex when this slide is fully extended out. So the concept with this one is going to have this, and take the drawer slide. That is going to be mounted in here directly, and then that whole portion will be mounted directly to the deck plate in the vehicle, and then obviously the slide will be attached on the inside here. So let's go ahead and start getting this all put together and see how it goes. All right, first things first, getting the holes marked out to drill out so I can actually get these mounted to the actual angle iron. All right, so we went ahead, we got the drawer slides mounted to the angle iron. Everything's mocked up, not fully cinched down right now, just wanted to make sure all the holes were lining up. Everything seems like it's fitting pretty good. Next step is attaching the fridge slide portion to these actual drawer slides here. So basically, I'll give you an idea of what it's gonna look like. I'll throw it up here for a second. All right, so that's what it's pretty much going to look like. And then once it's all attached, that whole unit will slide out with the fridge on it and then the drawer underneath as well. All right, guys, well, I might be an idiot here, but I cannot figure out how to unlock these actual slides to make it easier to pull this out, put the slides in place, mark it, and get them all drilled out and ready to go. This is my first time using them, so please don't be too harsh and don't judge me on these ones. So what I am going to be doing is I actually ended up getting some extra angle iron that I had that's also 1/4 inch, so it's going to be the same height, and then I put some flat bar stock that's an 1/8 inch so I can get the little bit of a gap I need, and I have that underneath supporting the actual slide itself, and that way it'll all be clamped in and I can go through, mark all my holes, and then get them drilled out. All right, so we got everything mounted, all the holes drilled, all the hardware in, everything's kind of tightened up and secured. Let's go ahead and check the function of it, make sure that everything still clears and everything operates properly. Oh man, that's freaking sweet. I'm pretty excited. Everything cleared. That little 1/8" gap I gave between the drawer and the actual mounts themselves. Perfect. No scraping, no catching, no nothing. I mean, the operation is pretty smooth on it. I am super happy up to this point right now. It's turning out how I imagined. Now the next step is I'm going to break all this back down and I'm going to get it prepped and get it ready for paint. After that, I will reassemble everything again so we have a full functioning unit. And then I will start worrying about building the internal drawer that will extend from this slide itself. Yeah, a lot of work ahead, so bear with me. A lot of tear down, reassemble, tear down, reassemble, but that's all just part of it, making sure everything works out. I am way happier with this design for the rails. It's much more clean, streamlined. It's not so boxy and just in the way. I'm just a lot happier with going this route based off of what happened with the other design I was trying. So I hope you all are enjoying it so far. Bear with me, and we're going to get to see this thing finished pretty soon. All right, guys, everything is ground down, cleaned up, and ready for paint. I'm gonna be using this Duplicolor bed armor. I have used this in the past. I used it for some of my welding tables that I built, some of my welding carts that I built. It holds up really nicely. I'm actually really impressed with this product. So I'm gonna use this on my slide portion as well. So let's get to it. Been a few days now. All the coats are finally done. I ended up doing a total of 3 coats to get the coverage I really wanted. It all turned out great. That Duplicolor bed armor is a really good product. When you do spray it on, I will let you know it comes out, looks like it's going to be like splotchy as all get up and all that kind of good stuff. But as it's drying, it does help self-level itself out. And the texture that you get with a little bit of rubberized finish to it is just incredible. So I do recommend that stuff. It is a little pricey though, I'll tell you that. It's about like $20 a bottle. I ended up using 2 cans total. So that being said, next steps, right? Getting this reassembled. I did do a few other things in between that I did not film or show. I ended up almost forgetting that I needed to drill the extra holes on these main mounting plates to be mounted to the actual deck of the vehicle. So I went ahead, I did get those all drilled out before I got this all painted. And then I also got the rail or the slides for the inside drawer on this portion all marked up and pre-drilled as well. So I didn't have to go through and re-drill anything after I've already got everything painted. So those are a few things I did get done. But now, let's get these rails all back on, bed slides back on, and get everything assembled. All right, also want to mention that on the reassembly, I will be using lock washers to help secure everything into place since I don't plan on taking it apart after this. So the lock washers will be in there. I didn't use those during mock-up, but they will be for the final assembly. And yeah, that's about it. Let's get to it. As you can see, it is finally reassembled and back together. I'm pretty excited about this. Next thing to do, let's test it, see how it works out. All right, drum roll please. One. Oh yeah. Yes. All right, guys, so for the second pull out, I'm going to be making that portion out of wood. I have this leftover piece from another project. It's just a top choice 1/2-inch piece of plywood. It's got some really nice grain structure, and when I stain it, I know that's going to pop out because I used it on my welding table and it looks phenomenal. So that's what we're going to be going ahead and using for that second pull out to house the stove in the kitchen area. First thing up, got to draw out the measurements, make sure everything's good, and then just get to cutting. So that's what we're going to get to right now. Alright, so we got all of our pieces cut. Next thing, I'm going to give them a quick sand, get all the rough edges off, and make sure they're ready to start being glued and nailed together. Alright, let's get to it. So we got everything cut to size, quick sand down, and this is basically what we got. So real simple design. I am not a wood worker by trade. I've done a lot of framing and stuff like that, but when it comes to this, this is new. So super simple design, base plate, 2 sides, and then a front and rear cap. That's it. I'm going to probably put one kind of divider in the middle at some point once I get my stove in here to see what kind of space I'm working with. But that's pretty much all it is. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to get some wood glue, run down all the edges, get them all clamped together, and then just nail it together with the nail gun. That's it. All right, let's do it. So while I'm waiting for everything to finally be fully sealed and glued and everything's dry, what I am going to do is actually put in the divider that's going to help hold the actual stove in place. So this is just a simple Coleman stove. In the future I might upgrade, but to be honest, I've been happy with it for a long time. It's very low profile, so it fits within this 4-inch drawer. What I plan on doing is I'm going to put a divider right here to hold it into place. And then this section will actually have a cutting board that lays down on inside of it. So I have a prep surface, and then I also have storage that's going to be underneath it. So that's what I'm going to do next, measure this out, get the piece of wood cut, nail it in place and glue it in place, and call it good from there, and then wait until everything's dry so I can do the final sanding and get all that done. All right, guys, it's the next day. With the temperatures being as cool as they have been, I wanted to make sure that we gave plenty of time for the glue and the wood filler to all set up. And yes, I did just say wood filler. I did go around. There was a few little gaps in some of the wood from the natural grain. I went around and actually just filled those in, so when I go to sand it all down, everything has a better finished look when it's done. So that being said, everything is ready to go. It is now time to get another sanding done on it, the final sanding, make sure everything's good and evened out and smooth. And then we are gonna go ahead and start getting it stained. So that's what we're about to do. here we are a couple weeks later, and I finally have some time to knock this project out. The drawer is done, it is stained, it's got a total of 3 coats on it, and at this point, all we have to do is attach it to the rails and call this project done. So let's go ahead, get it attached, and be done with it. All right, so I got everything screwed on. The drawer is attached. I have slight clearance issues. Nothing a sander can't fix. It's just very, very subtle. A little bit of rubbing. But besides that, it is functioning. So let's go ahead and check that out. All right, fully extended. And close back up. So as you guys probably heard, there was slight bit of rubbing on some of the metal. So what I am going to do at this point is I'm going to pull it out, give it a little bit of sanding to kind of get rid of some of those clearance issues, and then I will go ahead, restain those areas, and we should be pretty good on that. All right, guys, I am happy to say that this build is done. I had some hiccups along the way, but I am so happy with how it's turned out. Always room for improvement when you're trying out new stuff. But man, for my very first time ever giving this a shot, I am super happy with it. So let's go ahead. I'm gonna show you guys how it functions. I got the fridge on there. I got the stove inside. Show you guys the functioning process, and then to give you a quick walk around on what I'm still gonna do at this point. But as of right now, this build series is definitely done. So let's go ahead and see how this works. One slide out. Oh, there we go. That is it. Man, I'm super happy with that. As you guys can see, that Hills Off-Road Gear fridge that I got is huge. It's a 75 liter, and man, it's a big fridge, but for my family, it's gonna be awesome. So building this was kind of necessary, and then I went ahead and made that extra step of building the little outdoor kitchen portion. When this is in the vehicle, it's gonna be more about waist height, so it should be more functional. I got a few things I wanna do still to this point. But let's go ahead, give you guys a quick little walk around and tell you what I'm gonna do next once I get it installed. So here we go. This is the mounting system I was talking about. That will mount to the base plate on the actual vehicle. Then we got the main fridge slide itself. And by the way, those slides are actually 500 pounds. So they're gonna be able to support all this weight, no problem. And then the drawer. Yes, the outdoor kitchen portion. Got the little Coleman stove in there right now. This side will be for kitchen utensils and we'll have a cutting board in it. And then there's a few things I still wanna do at this point, but for this series it's done. I'll do a walkthrough on that once I actually get it installed in the vehicle. But I'll be drilling a hole in the front here to where my propane line will go in and attach. On this side over here, I actually ordered a cutting board that will fit in here, and I'm gonna put that on coffee table hinges to where it will come up and fold out of the way, have utensils, spices underneath, and then have my cutting board surface that pulls up and out of the way. So I'm pretty excited about that. On the actual portion to support the fridge and strap that down, I ordered a couple hooks that will actually bolt to the side frame. Remember, we left that 1 inch gap all the way around. So I got some hinges that are gonna go on here, some eye hooks basically, and then I'll be able to strap this fridge into place so it doesn't move, and that'll be on both sides. And then this thing will be 100%. Super stoked with how it turned out. I hope you guys enjoyed it as well. But you know, improvements could be there. Things can always be better, but man, for my first build, super stoked on it. All right, guys, that is it for this build series. I hope you've enjoyed it. I definitely have enjoyed building it. Shoot, a lot more little issues popped up than I thought, but it's always fun problem solving, trying to figure those things out. If you guys have any ways that you would rather do it or things that you can suggest that might have made it easier, please go ahead and put that in the comments down below. I'm always up for constructive criticism. We're all here to help each other out, give each other ideas. So I'm all about that. If you did enjoy this series, please go ahead, push the like button, subscribe to the channel, share the video, get it out there, and share it with people who want to do stuff like this. Like I said, this is not a hard build. I mean, I really did it with a welder, a grinder, a hand sander, and just some basic tools. So if you guys have those, you can definitely do it. Like I said, if I can do it, you definitely can do it as well. So again, I hope you guys have enjoyed this series, but for today, that's it.